Now, the newsreader I like to use is the one that comes pre installed on my phone, and that's Google News. I really like this app. It allows you to follow certain topics that are of interest to you. It also allows you to read the headlines. You can subscribe to individual publications within the app, and the subscriptions can be anywhere from a couple of bucks to more like 10 or 12. So you need to pick and choose. But even when a subscription is required, you can usually read a few articles per month, maybe 3 or 5 for free. And so it's really handy. And if you speak more than one language, you get a different collection of articles if you switch your operating system language. So, the app knows I live in the United States, so it gives me news that's US centric. But if I change the default language to Spanish, then I get news that's Latin America centric. And it's not just publications from the US that have been translated, it's actual publications from other countries as well. So that's another feature I really like about this app. And now I'm going to go into some detail about how to use it. Google News is, of course, Google's official news reader. It's where you go to find out what's going on in the world and in your local community. You can read headlines and, of course, entire articles.
News out of grid. For you, Google News.
All right, when you open Google News, you have search in the top left corner.
Search button out of list.
And you have the user account button in the top right corner.
Signed in as Anna Garza.
Across the bottom, we have some tabs. They are
selected for you.
For you, that's what is selected now.
Headlines.
Headlines.
Following. Newsstand.
And newsstand. Most other information on this screen is presented vertically. So at the very top, we have the name of the screen.
Google News out of list.
Then going down, we have a COVID-19 banner.
COVID-19 news. See the latest coverage of the coronavirus, 1 of 33, in list, 33 items.
Tapping this item brings up a list of articles about the coronavirus and the pandemic.
Honest Briefing, top 5 stories right now, 2 of 33.
All right, this says Honest Briefing, top 5 stories right now. The first 5 stories listed on the screen are the hottest news. At about this level, along the right edge of the screen, we have a little weather widget.
Currently cloudy in Fresno, temperature is 71 degrees Fahrenheit.
Continuing to go down.
Number 1, the New York Times, bomb cyclone and atmospheric river, Hummel, California, headlines, 37 minutes ago, 3 of 33.
All right, that's my first headline. Now, this isn't just a narrow band across the screen with a headline. My guess is that this is set up like a newspaper. There's probably a picture and a headline because it takes up about a third of the screen. Now, below that, we have number 2.
Number 2, The Guardian, Pelosi, very confident, Democrats will reach deal to salvage Biden agenda, headlines, 3 hours ago, 4 of 33.
Notice that for each of these stories, we find out what the source is, we find out the headline, and we find out how long ago it was posted. As I'm sliding my finger down, I'm near the bottom of the page at this point. I want to get to the next story, and I want to make sure that I don't skip it. So I'm going to use the right, then left swiping gesture, sliding a finger right, then left.
Series of crashes involving 6 vehicles turns deadly in Fresno, shuts down highway, local, 6 hours ago, 5 of 33. Showing items 5 to 9 of 33.
That is the third story. It's usually local. Continuing to slide my finger down.
Number 4, Daily Mail, Alec Baldwin's Rust film, will never be finished, after shooting leaves cinematographer dead, for you, 2 hours ago, 6 of 33. Number 5, Fox Business, Kellogg's slapped with $5 million lawsuit over Pop-Tarts strawberry filling, for you, 7 hours ago, 7 of 33.
All right, that's the 5th article, but I'm not quite at the bottom of the screen yet. The 6th article Notice it is not numbered.
CNN, Trump picks messy personal life worries Senate Republicans desperate to hold on to Pennsylvania seat, 9 of 33.
Okay, so you get the idea. Just keep sliding your finger down to get to the next story. Or you can swipe. Now, if you swipe, you're going to notice there is a control in the bottom right corner of each of these stories. It is
More options, button, 7 of 33.
all right, that's the more options on the Pop-Tart story. If we tap more options,
button. Save for later. Save for later, out of list.
we get a series of controls that covers the bottom third of the screen. They're laid out in a grid, and they are save for later, so you could come back and read it without having to look for it again. Share, you can email it to somebody.
Go to Fox Business.
Go to Fox Business. This is basically go to the source, whatever news outlet the story comes from.
Hide stories from Fox Business.
Hide stories from Fox Business. Let's say I don't like Fox News. I can block all those stories.
Send feedback.
Send feedback. This is for the app.
Report content.
Report content. Maybe I think this story is obnoxious and shouldn't be included in Google News.
More stories like this.
More stories like this. To tell Google News that this is the kind of content I like.
Fewer stories like this.
Fewer stories like this, just the opposite. I don't like this type of content. And that's it. I'm going to use the back gesture to get back to the news feed.
For you. More options, button, 7 of 33, in list, 33 items.
Most of the time, there's a full coverage button to the left of it. We're going to check out the
View full coverage for Kellogg's slapped with $5 million lawsuit over Pop-Tarts strawberry filling button.
the full coverage icon.
Google News. Navigate up, button, out of list.
What we get here is the same vertical stacking of stories, but these are all about this Pop-Tart drama.
Fox Business, Kellogg's slapped with $5 million lawsuit over Pop-Tarts strawberry filling, 8 hours ago. Yahoo Tech, Kellogg's faces $5 million lawsuit for not having enough strawberries in its Pop-Tarts, 20 hours ago.
I'm going to use the right then left gesture to get to the next set of stories.
Kellogg's in a jam over Pop-Tarts lawsuit, report says, 4 hours ago. Blake Keller WNEM, at Blake Keller DB, Strawberry Kellogg's faces lawsuit over lack of real strawberries in strawberry Pop-Tarts. thehill.com/legal/5780466-kellogg's-faces-lawsuit-over-lack-of-real strawberries-and strawberry-pop-tarts. Twitter 7 hours ago. Sharon Kennedy Wynn, at Sharoncone, a lawsuit contends that Kellogg's frosted strawberry at Pop-Tarts are sorely lacking in strawberries. Shocker. I thought eating a strawberry Pop-Tart was practically a salad. Twitter 7 hours ago.
At this point, we have a bunch of tweets with links and sarcastic comments. There's an all coverage button at the bottom of the screen in case I really wanted to delve deeper into this controversy.
All coverage, out of list.
Okay, I'm going to go back using the back gesture, down then left.
For you. View full coverage for Kellogg's slapped with $5 million lawsuit over Pop-Tarts strawberry filling, button, 7 of 33, in list, 33 items.
And we are back. Okay? Occasionally when you're scrolling through stories, you also find a play button near full coverage and options. This is more likely to happen if the news source is a television or radio show. There are a couple more things I want to show you. First, I'm continuing to scroll down. Here's a Fresno Bee article.
Fresno Bee, Clovis School Board promises change after adults bully student during public meeting.
And then there is a story about the extreme weather in California.
Yahoo News 6 hours ago, drought-stricken California doused by major storm, in list.
And I have another article about extreme weather in California.
Newsweek 2 hours ago, what is an atmospheric river and which cities and states should prepare for the worst, in list.
Sometimes what happens, and I'm not sure why, the right then left scroll basically gets you into full coverage and keeps bringing up stories about the same topic. To get past that, you can scroll by swiping up with 2 fingers. So I'm going to do that to get past California weather stories.
What is an atmospheric river and which cities and states should prepare for the worst?
Now I'm going to touch the screen.
Newsweek 2 hours ago. What is an atmospheric river and which?
Okay, that's the California weather story, the same one. But below that on the same screen, I'm sliding my finger down.
NBC News 1 hour ago. Alec Baldwin, assistant director, had history of unsafe practices. Prop maker says in list.
Okay, we've moved on to another story. And the last thing I want to show you is that as you're moving through this feed, you'll find little clusters of stories. Usually it's 3 on a particular topic.
Fresno. Your local news. 18 of 65.
The next 2 or 3 stories are going to be local news for me.
KFSN TV. California rain. Here's when atmospheric river will bring heavy rain. Snow to central CA and Sierra Nevada. 1 hour ago. 19 of 65. Fresno B. Thousands hit downtown Fresno for the return of taco truck throwdown. Here's what you missed. 9 hours ago. 20 of 65. Read more local stories. 21 of 65.
Okay, there we go. Let's see if we could find another one.
Interesting reads.
Interesting reads. Okay, these are usually provocative. Let's see.
The New York Times. Flying with your pet. It just got a lot more difficult. 8 hours ago. 28 of 65. Enlist. 65 items. The New York Times. Fear on Cape Cod as sharks hunt again. 4 days ago. 29 of 65. The New Yorker. Paul McCartney on writing. Eleanor Rigby. 6 days ago. 30 of 65.
I don't know how interesting these reads were, but you get the idea. We'll check out the tabs across the bottom just to give you a very quick idea of what to expect. When the app opens, it's in the
Selected. For you.
For You tab. The second tab is Headlines.
Headlines. Headlines. Selected. Headlines.
The screen layout is exactly the same, but these stories are the most recent to be posted.
NPR 20 minutes ago. Powerful storm brings heavy rain, flooding and mud flows to Northern California. Enlist. The Guardian 3 hours ago. Pelosi, very confident, Democrats will reach deal to salvage Biden agenda. Enlist.
Okay, sometimes there's overlap, sometimes there isn't. Now we're going on to the third tab.
Following. Following. Selected. Following.
Following. These are the topics and publications you're interested in. So at the top of the page, we have
Topics. Follow topics to see more stories about your interests in For You. Follow topics.
okay, if I were to tap here, follow topics, I would get an edit box and I could search. I could type, say, for example, politics. And then I would get categories like Persian Gulf politics or Fox News politics or CNN politics. And I could choose whatever I want. Below that is a list of the publications I tend to click on.
Sources. The Washington Post. Enlist.
And to the right of the publication name is a More Options button.
More options for the Washington Post button. Go to the Washington Post. Go to the Washington Post. Out of list.
And options are go to the Washington Post,
Move to beginning.
move to beginning,
Move to end.
move to end,
Stop following this source.
stop following this source,
Add to home screen.
add to home screen. And these options are all at the bottom of the screen. Let's move on to the fourth tab.
Newsstand. Newsstand. Selected. Newsstand.
So this screen is a list just like the others, but there are 2 tabs across the top. One is
Selected. Featured. Tab. 1 of 2.
Featured, and the other is
Popular. Tab. 2 of 2.
Popular. Here we have topic headings, and below these topic headings, we have the names of publications laid out in a grid. Each publication includes information about what it costs to subscribe, and below it are some controls. Let's check it out.
Coffee Table Reads. Meaningful stories that inspire. Out of list.
Coffee Table Reads.
TED Talks. Free. In list.
TED Talks.
Follow button.
And I can choose to follow.
Vanity Fair, $1.99 per month after. Follow button.
So Vanity Fair is $1.99 after. There's a free trial in there.
30 days free.
There it is, 30 days free.
Wired. Follow button.
I'm going to follow.
You're following this source.
Good.
Read now button.
And there's a read now button since I'm following. Scroll up with 2 fingers again to find another topic heading.
Environmental impacts. Explore green initiatives and global issues, out of list.
And so on. Okay, let's go back to For You.
For you. For you. Selected. For you.
And the last thing I'm going to show you is the search button. Remember, it's in the top left corner. It's actually in the top left corner of every screen, but I like coming back home. So I'm going to tap search.
Search button. Showing Braille keyboard. Google News.
Now let's say there's a story you're really interested in. You've scrolled through your feed and you've only found a couple of items about this and you want to know more. You can type some keywords in here. For example, I recently read some news stories about Braille displays that use combustion. So I want to know if there's any more about that or about something else. I'm going to write the word Braille.
L. Submitting text. Braille. Braille. Edit box. Search for topics, locations, and sources. Keyboard hidden.
All right, let's find out what stories come up.
Articles, 2 of 33. The Gazette, Vinton Braille School Infirmary to open as old hospital pub, 2 days ago, 3 of 33.
Oh, well, that sounds interesting.
Cornell Chronicle, Combustion creates Braille display for electronics. Cornell Chronicle, October 5th, 4 of 33.
Ugh.
CBS Pittsburgh, Seedlings Braille books for children fills a need in the community that only a nonprofit fulfill, 4 days ago, 5 of 33.
And you get the picture. So that pretty much does it. Hope you enjoy Google News.
Thanks, Anna.